All right, ready?
Yep.
I'm Tyler John the Don,
Hello, I'm Big Skoom.
and this is
Skoom Speech. So on my drive in today, have a couple topics, questions. You ready for
yeah.
them? Had a good day?
I will once the cigar lights. Yeah, no, my day's been good.
So one of my first things is about attraction. I've heard attraction is when someone is when you feel someone has something that you don't.
What?
Attraction.
That's crazy.
Attraction, maybe there's like levels of attraction, but a really
Okay.
high level of attraction is when you feel someone has something that you don't.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
A high level of attraction is when someone has something you do not.
Or you feel, maybe you feel.
Oh, what did I say? When you know?
Well, yeah, basically.
Oh, sorry, we don't ever know anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Socrates who said that. The only thing that I know is that I know nothing.
Yeah, right. So I feel like I'm attracted to something or someone.
Yeah.
I'm attracted to someone because I feel they have something I do not, which means I lack it.
Yeah. You think it's true?
Maybe this depends on a level of attraction,
Yeah, 100%.
right? So
120%, I agree. And you think of someone you're really attracted to, do you think it's true?
well, that would mean that you only are attracted to somebody because you want to obtain what they already have.
I don't really know what it means. I think it's more of, I typically like conflate it with like, yeah, just man and a woman. So like, yeah, you're attracted to her.
Right, that was my first thought too. Was okay, this woman has breasts and I don't.
Oh, see?
That was my first thought, honestly. I was like, that's interesting.
See? So, I guess that right there makes it true. Very much makes it true. What do they say? Obviously, right? Opposites attract, or blah, blah,
Right.
blah. It's interesting about women because, like man and woman, because, like, yeah, it's like, typically women are, like emotional.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, that's, I think, whether men know it or not, like, I think that's something that they, like, really, they like and attracts them to a woman. Like, let's say...
Because they're emotional and we're stoic?
Well, yeah, let's say, like, for example, check this out. Let's say you're looking at a woman, and let's say you're a tough guy who can go through a lot and, not cry and just be real tough.
Yeah.
And if you want to think of this woman, and if you thought, like, hey, this woman...
She's dainty and soft.
Well, no. This woman could go through what I went through and not feel anything, not shed a tear, not cry. Like, that probably might not attract you too much.
Yeah.
Like, the whole point of making is, like you want a woman who goes through bad situations to feel emotion about it and cry and get sad. That makes you want to come along and, like, comfort her and, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she could just, like, be, like, all, like, whatever about it.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't find that attractive.
Right.
But yeah, back to the thing. You think the expression's true or what?
Well, I guess it would have to be. Just understanding opposites attract.
I wonder if it works in other ways. Like, me and you are friends. Like, I wonder if, like, there's things about you. Well, I know for sure there's things about you that you have that I don't. So that could make our friendship stronger or whatever. And right, I maybe not have known that at first. Right, for example, you know what I mean? Like, I got to know you, I didn't even realize, hey, there's these things that he has that I don't. But you get the point I'm making?
I have 4 eyes and he only has 2. I'm just kidding.
You get the point I'm making, right?
I would like to say yes.
Like it was there and I didn't even know.
Right. Or it's there and we don't know because we don't bag, like, specifics of what the differences are in us. You know, because I'm humble, buddy. I look at everybody the same, personally. Color, hairstyle, whatever. Do they still have hair? Boom, they still have hair. Like, everything is still just the same. There's, you know, even if it was skin color, which this is super minimalistic and stupid, but he still has skin, right? Like, it is what it is. We are what we are, and boom. So I don't know. I don't think, well, I do agree with you that opposites attract and all of that stuff, and maybe it's something that you have that I don't. Maybe he has more drive than I do to go to the gym more often than I do. Maybe that's, in my opinion, pretty stoic. Like, me, I know I get sore, and I'm like, nah, I'm taking an off day, because I'm lazy, and I exercise my free will that way. What I desire to do, what I don't desire to do right now. You know? So maybe. And maybe that's something that I do look at you as difference and say, you know, that's strong. You know, it's strong. He's probably sore or feeling the same way I feel, but he still goes to the gym the next day. And I'm just like, I don't feel like it, but that's admirable because it's still different.
Do you think, this has changed the subject, but
Yeah.
made me think of it, and I was having this conversation with someone not too long ago, but yeah, so you don't think you're better than some people?
Mm-mm. No way. Because in order to be better than somebody else, you have to have weaknesses where they have strengths, and they would have strengths where you have. No, I said the same thing twice, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would have to be stronger than you and understand where your weaknesses are, but that doesn't mean better than you. That just means maybe I put more time and thought and energy into this one spot where I'm stronger than you. You know, so better. No, I think you act the same way if you stub your toe if I do.
What are the pros and cons? What are the cons of thinking you're better than someone, and what are the pros, if any?
I don't know, because I live life on a humble aspect. I don't think there are pros of, because whenever I say, oh, I think I'm better than somebody else, then it's also saying, I don't know, I think that gasses up your ego, but I don't think that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's right at all.
All right, one of my next topics is, got a couple here.
The next topic is how much the stogie is falling apart.
Car accidents. Pretty random.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been in one, and you got a story that's profound that you remember pretty well?
Dude, I've been in a few car accidents, and my most recent car accident was pretty scary, buddy, because it was a rainy day, right? All of my accidents have been on a rainy day, or there was snow.
Okay.
I can't really share the snow one. Well, no, I can. That company's closed. But that wasn't an accident anyway. Nobody got injured, thank goodness. But it was a rainy day, and I had bald tires on the back of my pickup truck, and my sister was in a car in front of me. I had my niece and nephews, her kids, with me, and we were getting right off the expressway, and I started to fishtail in the rear end, and I lost it. It's a rear-wheel drive car, and I started to lose it, and boom, I pit maneuver her. She goes into a wall, and just based off of geometry and how it was all going out this time, I hit the same wall. Boom, boom. She hit, boom, totaled her car, front end's gone.
Dang.
Boom, I hit the same front wall, head first, whatever. I was in a larger pickup truck. It took the damage pretty well. It still runs today, but, you know, everyone in my vehicle was fine. It was 4 people in my vehicle, me, the driver, and then 3 passengers. Everyone was okay. Her car was totaled. She was okay besides some pulled muscles and the loss of her favorite car. Materialistic things don't mean as much as it does for a human life, and I agree with that's my sister. So,
were you drinking or anything?
No, just a bad situation, going bad. So,
were you texting?
No,
changing the music?
None of that. Honestly, none of that. I just started losing the rear end. I tried to catch it, boom, 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 and then I was like, yo, this isn't stopping. So I floored the brakes and lock it all up. Worst decision ever, because it causes me to spin out of even more control, and it was just terrible. So that was my most recent vehicle accident. Also in the rain. My very first vehicle accident, me being the driver, I was 15 years old, I want to say, around there. My first car ever, It was a Toyota Camry, and I'm going too fast. Boom! I hit like it's like a dip in the road, and then it levels back out, and I'm going too fast, and I slide, and where I was, there's a median and a palm tree. So I slide into that. Boom! I wrap the passenger side of my car around this tree.
Palm tree, where were you?
Yeah, Myrtle Beach. I was in South Carolina with this. And yeah, the car was totaled. I drove it still for like maybe 2 weeks. Eventually, just had to get rid of it. So
Drove it, what? He's clanking and clanking.
yeah, dude, and it wouldn't even drive straight. I would have had to wheel like this. And I'm driving, and it keeps
Everybody's
wanting to
looking at you going down the street, or what?
yeah, dude. So neither one of the passenger doors would open anymore. So
Dang.
I was dating a girl at the time who every time I picked her up, she had to get in the driver's side and crawl over the center console and then sit down and buckle up. But she couldn't buckle up because the thing wouldn't retract anymore.
Dang.
Yeah, the car knew it was dying. The car knew it was cooked. You had to do one passengers in the seat.
Man, for me, so I'm with a girl, one of my girlfriends, and we're driving a U-Haul pickup truck, right? And it's snowing out. And luckily, it wasn't really an accident. We spun out, lost control, and just like went over into there was like a big grass thing, and we're just in the grass field. We had to get towed out.
Oh, man.
And then,
U-Haul?
yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
And then, dude, one time I'm at work, and I'm driving for work, and dude, the light is yellow, and it like just turns red, and I tried going through, and a car was coming, and boom, just crashed right into him. And yeah, so now like if it's like turning yellow, maybe I'll slow down, but that's my experiences with it.
Do you have any theories on any of that?
Not so much. I mean,
Okay, well, what if lessons?
Well, yeah, there's a theory.
Okay.
And in my mind states for both instances, I was rushing.
Yeah,
I was rushing
boom.
in both of them.
See, I agree with you. I agree with you to the degree to where I almost finished the sentence for you. I agree with you that much. Because that's what I was doing too in both scenarios.
Yeah.
Probably just moving a little too quick.
But I wasn't speeding.
Either time of my accident, I really had nowhere important to even be.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So rushing for no reason, speeding or not, pushing reds,
yeah.
whatever it might be, going a little too fast for no reason. Where were you headed? Where were you headed either time that the location would have still either been open or maybe you were on the road for nonsense reasons at all. My first accident, nonsense reason at all. And the second one, I was just driving too fast for conditions I can agree. And I knew the condition of my rear tires and I was not getting enough traction. And yeah, it was very unfortunate. Both very unfortunate. And both, I bet, for me, I can say, both very scary situations.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, not that I live in fear or anything like that, but I guess you're always afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's a bigger picture going to come out of this? We don't know. My first accident, that's when I first got my driver's license, so I had no idea. And then the second time, I didn't know who was really to blame for this. I didn't know if I was going to be tried or anything like that. I had to pay for city damages or anything else. A whole bunch of unknowns. I was like, oh man, where is this going to lead?
For me, in that second accident, I didn't even have a license at the time, and of course the police came, but they didn't ask me for my license or anything. They just let me go. I just sat there and got a tow truck. It was pretty interesting. But
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
so next, it's an expression. I love expressions, man. I really do.
Yeah, I do too.
So
I like trying to decipher, is this an expression I would take word for word and I can use, or is it one that I would like to depart and say, okay, this could go for many different scenarios in life. That's why I like expressions.
yeah, I want to see what you do with this one. Don't treat people how they want. Treat them how they need.
Okay. See, this is one I don't know if I would take word for word.
Well, so what?
Maybe,
you think
actually.
you think you should still treat people how they want? It sounds like you just don't agree with the expression, basically.
Yeah, I might not agree with the expression. Well, have you say it again. Say it again.
Don't treat people how they want. Treat them how they need. You can't treat people how they want, right? I mean,
I agree with that.
because
You
what does
can't
that
do
even
that.
mean? Well, still, what does that even mean? Like,
Well, does that mean you treat everybody childish?
how I
Right.
think of it is, if I treat someone how they want,
Well, everybody wants respect.
if I treat them how they want, I'm already taking on the disposition that they know what they want. Like that'd be silly.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I agree, but I can also say this: everybody wants respect. If you treated everybody like they want, you would just hand respect out. And in the last episode, we both agreed you got to earn respect, right? Everybody wants it, but you got to earn that.
So, I imagine we're probably both the same. I'm sure we look at it the same. For me, I'll speak for me, and you can say it's the same for you. But first, I look at someone, they automatically have respect, and it's just up to them to not lose the respect that they already have.
Okay,
that's for me. They have respect here, and as long as they don't do things to bring their respect down, then I'm just gonna stay respecting them.
Okay, big bet. I like that, Skoom, because whenever you meet somebody, it's proper to treat them with respect. You're not gonna walk up to somebody and they go out for a handshake and you just smack the hand. Like, get that out of here. I'm not shaking a hand. Who do you think you are? You know? Yeah. You can't do that, obviously.
Tyler, I told you the story before, but when we first met, Tyler's wearing a flannel shirt. He's got a bandana on, blue jeans. I guess he's from the South. He's a Southern dude. And he was like, you know, I see him as a small white kid. That's how I see him. And we're doing tree work at the time. And I'm like a little bit of a bigger guy. And but to Tyler, right, none of that stuff matters. Like, he doesn't care if someone's big, like, whatever. Like,
that's shenanigans. I think it's all the show.
Yeah, he'll take him on, right? Like, he seemed perfectly capable. Like, hey, you know, if I got to take you on, like, physically, you know, I'm willing to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the impression that I got from him.
I'm willing to mess myself up because I'm going to talk big to you.
That's the impression I got from him. And I'm not like a confrontational person, or
I'm not either.
I shouldn't say confrontational, but like, I'm not looking for fights or anything. But where I'm getting at is like that got into my mind. So, and here's kind of why, because, you know, like I could tell that, like, yeah, he doesn't have that respect at all. Like, he's just like, all right, well, yeah, like, we gotta fight. I don't care. Yeah. So
I'll hold it down.
So he comes up to me and I'm introducing him. I'm wearing like this big weight vest, and I'm like, whatever. Hey, my name's Isaiah. And he goes, hey, my name's Tyler. And he talks a huge loogie, like from the left to the right, like right across me. He's like, I'm Tyler, hot tooey, literally, and spits like right on me, basically. And I'm thinking at the time, I'm like, dude, do I have to fight this kid? Like, what the heck? And yeah, ever since then, we've been best friends. Another good story I have, and guys, this is one of the best sayings in the world. Definitely use it. It's so good, so good. You probably not remember you said it. A little bit of context is, you know, our supervisor at the time is this really big black dude. He's like 6'3", like 250 pounds, huge, towering over Tyler. And basically, Tyler at one point says to him, "You don't know who I think that I am." You remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're like, "You don't know who I think I am." And yeah, so say that to people. You know what I mean? Definitely say that if things are gonna get confrontational. I think it's a good one-liner. But here's my next thing. It was just about, I have a couple things here, but one was about like the center of the earth, man. Like,
okay, cool.
Because I relate the center of the earth and outer space, like I relate them together, as in like, you know, like people have this undying, unwavering faith in outer space for good reason, right? All the science experiments. And then like just for fun, I'll be like, oh, well, like what about the center of the earth? What's your take on that? And it's just the same thing. It's just, what's the center of the earth?
It's supposed to be lava.
Yeah. So I just like to tease people with that.
If you've ever dug to the center of the earth and you can tell me it's not lava, let me know. But I believe it's actually water. Me personally, I don't think it's lava. That's what they tell you. But I don't think that it's all molten lava and all this. I think that there's more water under the earth than there is in the oceans that we visually see with our eyes.
Yeah, everyone's going to say it's lava. And obviously, I don't know.
I believe in center earth theory.
Okay.
Like, there's I believe in crazy stuff. The middle of the earth. You can find that theory online. There's like, well, you heard of Mountain's Hole, and they throw stuff in the Mountain's Hole, fly drones down there and all this. It was like Washington on the west side of America, and they would fly drones down there and stuff, and then they would lose signal, of course, eventually, and then nothing would ever come back out. They would get ropes on top of ropes on top of ropes and send stuff down there and then try to retract it out. And then whatever you sent down there is no longer there. Just unbelievable stuff. I don't believe that the middle of the earth is lava. I think that's where if you are getting these UFO sightings, they're coming from the center of the earth. That's what I believe.
I like to play with people with stuff like this because I have my own thoughts and I know my thoughts are against the consensus, so I don't try changing people's minds anymore. So I just like to like play with them, like tease them a little bit. And yeah, like the some of the Earth's lava, and like this, I don't know how scientists figure that out. I'm sure they have good ways, right?
I don't know.
And one thing I always I say in my head, like teasing myself even about this, is a bit like, oh well, like it's supposed to be like really hot down there.
Yeah,
right?
it's supposed to get hotter the deeper you dig.
Something I'm like, if that's true, like. It's like, wouldn't it be impossible to go down there and actually test it? Like, because you can't get anything close enough to the center because it would, like, whatever, burn or catch on fire. Like, I don't know. I just find it really silly.
Well, you would think so. But I don't know either.
And then you brought up the UFO thing, too. Like, it's just interesting. Like, you see a flying saucer, right?
Yeah.
It's just interesting. It's funny to me that has to be from outer space. Like, when people see that, it has to be from outer space. It has to be from outer space. Or it has to be from somewhere that is this big fantasy and all this crap. I don't know. I find it funny. Like,
in a land far, far away.
Well, yeah. I just don't know why. Like, when you see a flying saucer, like, why does it have to be from outer space? And I know that sounds stupid.
Well, technically.
But like, why can I don't know? Why can it, for example, why can't it be man-made or something? Right. I don't know. Why does it have to be from outer space?
Well, I was gonna say this. Technically, Germany, back during the First World War, I believe, might have been the second. I don't remember. I'm not a big historian, guys, but Germany was working with Nikola Tesla, and they were both working on together UFOs, flying saucers, and things like that of their own, which was man-made. So yeah, debunked.
Well,
humans were working on this.
I'm not against it being from outer space, but like I don't know, automatically, like I don't know, I'm sure it's in the heart, right? You just want to be from outer space. I don't know. And one of the other things I have is just about crying and how weird crying is. Like,
well, you could cry out of frustration, sadness, devastation. There's a whole bunch of different emotions that crying could go along with. I know people that cry out of anger. You just see somebody be so mad and shaking and just crying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just interesting because it's just like I don't know. It's just like an act and like not an act. It's like a verb. Crying's like a verb.
Right.
And like yeah, and I just wonder like I don't know what energy like the energy expended in it. I don't know. It just seemed pretty interesting. But what type of things make you cry? That's where I was going with that.
Well, we like talking about my children and stuff here for some reason.
Yeah.
So, whenever I think real deeply about my kids, still, it's been, 5, 6 years since my divorce, somewhere around there. And she has full custody of the kids and everything like that. But I keep pictures of my kids in my wallet. I can pull them out right now. But whenever I look at them, or usually around Christmas time, it's really hard for me, and I'll crack up. I'll crack a tear. And you know what's weird to me is alligator tears, crocodile tears, they call them, right?
Yeah, what does that mean?
It's just a show.
Fake tears?
Yeah, supposedly it's just a show. You could do that on like HBO or Showtime. What's that, Hallmark?
Yeah.
They do a whole lot of fake crying and stuff like that. Oh, it's so sweet. I don't watch Hallmark. Hallmark makes me cry. Thinking about that emotion of love and adoration and everything that those TV shows show, that kind of stuff makes me feel weird. Because naturally, I reject the feeling of love. Naturally. Which is weird. And yeah, I'll crack up.
Not on Christmas morning when you're looking at them pictures.
Sheesh.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I'm someone who likes to suppress things like that.
Mm.
So it's so weird. For me, the only time I cry, and I know a lot of people can relate to this, is when I'm watching a movie or something, and like something in the movie happens, and I think it just taps into like how I feel about other things, and then it just makes me start crying. It's a movie or TV shows is the only thing that makes me cry.
Yeah. You know the movie The Blind Side?
Oh yeah.
That movie made me cry the first time I watched it. Swear to God, I can probably watch it again tonight and still cry.
Yeah.
That's a touching story.
For me, it's like it's like family things. Like when it's like a mom taking care of a daughter or like a son playing with their dad,
Yeah.
or like where the parent is like being like just saving the day. Like that was like I'm sure that makes a lot of people feel good. So like it always just makes me tear up a little bit. I think like it's so sweet, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this conversations like this are always really good for not only friends to have, but like if you're going to be getting to know somebody else, it brings you closer, of course, because we can all relate off of emotions and things like that.
Yeah.
The question is, I'm big into sales, and I've been studying sales a lot lately.
Yeah.
And trying to get the happiest. So say you're gonna get this car to be traded in, right?
All right.
And tell me the happiest road trip or story you've been in this car, and tell me why. You know, because.
Well, you think that makes me more likely to buy a car?
Maybe buy a new one, yeah. Why not start a new story? Yeah. I don't think that starting an old story and running with it continuously forever is a good thing.
Yeah, you're looking.
But maybe. I mean, no, I think it's just trying to get that friendship out of him, though.
Okay.
Oh, this guy cares.
Okay.
And he's asking me serious questions, and I'm giving him serious answers.
There's a thing with sales where they say like, and it's not, I don't think it's super accurate, but like an expression where they're like, oh, people buy from people that they like. You know, you've heard that, right?
Of course I have.
I've heard that debunked, and that's not exactly true because like, let's say you're going to buy a car.
Yeah.
And let's say in one version, your grandma's trying to buy you a car who you like, and the other version is like whatever, an expert car person. Like who are you going to buy the car from? You're going to buy it from for example, the expert car person.
Maybe. But
Well, yeah, you are.
I'll tell you this.
Like, what does your grandma know about cars? Like, you love your grandma, you like your grandma, but like,
Yeah.
you don't want to buy a car from her.
Yeah, no.
So like, that's kind of where that expression just gets debunked. And like, you've been like,
Well, are they both going to offer you the same car? I guess that would be the control in this experiment.
no. It's, I mean, you could.
Well, are you going to bring me? Let's see.
Let's bring something. Let's bring
a Camaro SS. Right?
Well, let's take it away from cars because cars are pretty big purchase.
Subjective, right?
Well, it's a big
large.
purchase with a lot of things involved in it.
Okay, yep.
Very abstract.
Yes.
But like, you're gonna buy whatever, something like a pair of shoes, or
you don't need a salesman for shoes. I walk into it.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
My
too.
mind is made up. But I think that's where you get caught. Is your mind made up? Because I'll tell you this, my grandmother does have a car, and it's a Nissan Maxima, and I would love to buy it from her one day. If she ever told me, Tyler, I'll sell you this car, yes.
We'll make it.
Take my money. Insert that clip here.
I think you got the point. Basically, you can buy a car, you can buy something from your grandma, or buy something who's an expert at what you're trying to buy.
Well,
You're gonna buy it from the expert.
Well, probably because the expert.
Of course. What does your grandma know about what she's trying to sell you?
Okay, maybe. I think it depends on if you're interested in that object or not.
Here's a better question for you.
If she says,
No. Here's a better question for you.
Okay, yeah.
What would you rather buy from your grandma than an expert? Name something that you'd rather buy from your grandma than buying from an expert from what you're trying to buy.
A knitted material, like a blanket.
Are you calling your grandma an expert?
Yeah.
So then that wasn't the question. Something.
Because I did buy it from an expert.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, name one thing you'd rather buy from your grandma than from an expert of what you're trying to buy.
Well, if you think about it, you don't want to buy a laptop from your grandma because it's probably outdated and she found it in her closet. It's got a bunch of dust on it.
No. She's at the store or whatever.
She's at the store? So is she going to pay for it?
No, I meant like she just works at the store.
She works at the store?
Yeah, she's not trying to sell you her
She
laptop.
better know about it because I agree. I'd rather buy from an expert.
Exactly.
Yeah, she better be able to crunch these numbers. And if it's a monthly payment, she better know.
That's just how I heard like debunking of that expression because that's a huge expression. People really believe in it. Like, oh, people buy who they like from. So they use that to kind of debunk that expression. I think it's a pretty valid point.
But if you like that person and they're an expert, then both be double sold. You're leaving with that product.
But I think it's probably just more about trust. Like you trust them to give you what
the proper thing that you're desired for.
Yeah, well, you trust that they're gonna just like follow through with their word or whatever. Like
I definitely agree.
This. You trust that.
But I think
then you buy it.
I still agree though. A sense of buying though is still gaining their trust, right? So maybe befriending them is a bit far, but at least. Okay, I know he knows what he's talking about. I asked him 35 questions. He answered all of them fine. But I don't know, because I still look at it as if you're not sold, you're not going to buy.
It's a good one. I mean,
But my question is, why would you not want to buy this thing? I've sold to everyone else in your neighborhood so far, and you're the only person that says no. Why? You can talk to all your neighbors and they'll tell you exactly why they bought it, because I'm saving them money. It's installed right now immediately, and now you got it forever, and eventually there will be an end date to all of your troubles, because you're eventually going to own this thing, and it's going to provide for your own well-being. You're not going to pay a big bill to somebody else later on. Eventually it'll be completely yours. You're the only person that
it's
said no.
interesting. It's
so why not?
interesting. It's interesting. I feel like more or less just like two different buying styles,
Okay,
and I'll like polarize it,
okay.
bring it to the extremes, because it's hard for me to kind of grasp. There's like, so here's how they like.
Edit that out.
So here's kind of how to do it. Imagine, and we can find out which one you are with this. Imagine you had two options.
Okay.
Option one was for every decision you made, you had to wait 5 days to make the decision.
Yeah.
Or the other option is for every decision you made, you had to make it instantly. Which one would you choose? You had to take 5 days for every decision. Well, not every, but you get
Right, like my idea goes to, well, waiting 5 days to find out if I want a piece of pizza. Is that what you're saying?
Not that extreme,
Okay.
but a little bit abstracted down a little bit.
Okay. So
You gotta wait.
let me rephrase your question.
Yeah, go for it.
We're talking about a large investment. Anything.
Yeah,
Am I going to wait 5 days to find out if I'm going to pay my phone bill for this month?
you're getting pretty extreme with it.
Okay, you reword it.
Yeah, so
You'll reword it. and-
you had to wait some time to make a decision, or you had to make the decision instantly. You have two options. You have to wait a certain amount of time, a time that is relative and fair for the decision.
Right? I
So
think that's
not
fair.
5 days, but a certain amount of time.
Right. I think that's
Or
fair.
you just had to make it instantly. Which one would you rather choose?
I would, well, let me ask you this question. Is it something I'm waiting for my next paycheck to pay for? Or I can afford it right now, no matter what we're discussing.
No,
I can afford it immediately.
no. We're talking a little bit more general. Like you don't have to be buying anything. Just
Okay.
a decision. Like you said, you want to have a slice of pizza. You have to spend a couple minutes or seconds to make that decision, or you just made the decision instantly to have the pizza, or any sort of general
Right.
type of thing like that. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to be buying anything. Just you're gonna make a decision. For everyone, I have to wait. A pretty normal relative amount of time before I make it, or I just make them all instantly.
I would rather make them instantly.
Yeah. So
Make them instantly.
that's basically how I feel. Is like I feel like it's basically comes to that when it comes to like the distribution of buying styles. There are people who are going to make the decisions quick. There are people who are going to just they're going to spend some time before. So
Well, my decision would be immediate. If it's not a financial issue, and if it isn't, well, I think that's everybody's problem, is a financial issue. Especially in this economy. Everybody's like, well, can I afford an extra $20 a month?
well, I think even if they have if they have the money for it,
because I can debunk what I just said. Well, I come up with an extra $20 a month, but we do it all the time. We as in humans, not myself, because I don't subscribe to Netflix. But every day I think that people still sign up to Netflix or pay that bill and they're okay with it.
I mean, so your how you would do out of those two sides depends on how much cash you got.
Yes.
So if you had the cash,
Then buy it now.
and if it was tighter, you'd rather wait to make the decision.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. If it's like, even if I'm like, well, I always say this, if I can't buy something twice, I won't buy it at once. And I'll wait a month or two. Like me, guys, I'm a very big collector of katanas and samurai swords.
Yeah.
And these things run you a lot of money. I think my most expensive one is like 500 something. And my cheaper ones are probably around like 190, somewhere in that, like the lower 200 range. Usually, I try to limit myself to one katana a year because I'm like, okay, if I put all this money into an envelope and say katana, then I look at this envelope by the end of the year and say, okay, I can buy one. because I probably have a few hundred in there and maybe close to $1,000, and then boom, I'll buy one. Limit yourself. I believe there's a lesson of humility. No matter what my bank account says, can I buy all of them off the shelf, or do I want just one? Well, humility says I only need one. And yeah, so I really try to live my life off of that. I don't like to indulge. I don't like that option. I don't think that all of that is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. People buying is interesting.
People buying is interesting. Making people buy is interesting.
Nah, it's just what all comes down to comfort. It's just, I feel like, well, not all of it, but I feel the main thing.
If you're kitchen selling, I go talk to you at your house, how uncomfortable, even in the comments, how uncomfortable would it make you if I'm here to serve and service you, give you the best deal, and it's hard to say no, but then I reach in your cabinet, get you and I both a glass of water in your house, and say, sit down, let's have a discussion, and I'm here to serve you, and I want you to be comfortable. Well, is that too far? Or, even better, what if, instead of going into your cabinets or whatever, I bring an extra bottle of water, and I say, here, this is for you, this one's mine, and let's discuss something, because I want something good to come out of this for both of us. Is that too far?
No.
Leave down in the comments below what you think. Hospitality in your own home. As I come into your house to sell you something, I want to service and serve you to get the best option, and I bring you something to go along with it.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone likes water.
People just gotta be.
It makes you comfortable. It should. It's hospitality I bring to your door.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's pretty interesting because people, even if they know they have a problem, unless they feel comfortable, like
to address that problem, they won't.
Well, comfortable making the decision to change the problem.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. It's pretty interesting.
So do you think it's more of comfort or financial crisis or stability, one or the other?
Well, I think it's more about like uncertainty. Like, like if things were guaranteed, like 1,000% guaranteed, then you'd have no issue. But I feel like most people are thinking, all right, well, what if I make this decision to change it and it doesn't work? Like, I feel like that's the main reason that stops people from buying something.
Can you give me a scenario?
Well, yeah, whatever. It could be anything. What if I have this table right here?
Yes.
Someone's offering me a new coffee table. What if this coffee table breaks the next day? Or what if I overpay for this coffee table? What if, I find out my brother bought the same coffee table for $20 cheaper? It's just that uncertainty. But like, if it could somehow be guaranteed with no possible objection at all that this coffee table is the best coffee table for this price and it'll last me 50 years. There was no uncertainty at all, which is impossible because obviously the world doesn't work like that.
Right.
A freaking lightning bolt could strike the coffee table and break it in half right now. There's no certainty.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, what will stop people from buying, because there is no uncertainty.
A tree
what if I
could
make
fall-
the wrong decision?
A tree could fall in the podcast studio and it breaks this table.
What if I make the wrong decision? What if this? What if that? And so, they don't feel comfortable, making that decision of, all right, you know what, let's change it, let's do it, because what's going to happen? I don't know. So, yeah.
Well, if you live life off the I don't know, we don't even know if we're going to wake up tomorrow morning from our slumber tonight.
Yeah, well, it's different when it comes to money, because obviously people work really hard for their money, so.
They work very hard for their money. And
so it's
you could maybe lose your job at any point.
Well, yeah. So
there's a whole bunch of uncertainties even with work alone.
So money has such this emotional tie to it.
Yeah, I walked into work before and they say, hey guys, we don't have enough money in the books, can't pay you. We went chapter 11, deuces. I've had that happen and only once in my life. And I recently just turned 28, and that was a pretty big shock. And thankfully I wasn't bound in any sort of renter's contract or anything like that. That could have really desperately destroyed me. But I do know people that had children and stuff at that company that, imagine going home and telling your wife, hey, so I worked overtime last week and I'm not getting paid for any of that because the company is closed. And matter of fact, I no longer have a job.
Yeah.
Those people I feel for terribly.
That happened to me twice.
Unfortunately, I do know a lot of those people, they bounced out of it and they been just fine, as far as I do know. And a lot of us, out of that situation, were forced to grow pretty quickly, and we did. We adapted and overcame.
Yeah,
That's an interesting one. Let's talk about adapting and overcoming. Or adapting and not overcoming, then what? What do you have? Suicide rates?
I mean, either way, you got to adapt, right?
Or die. Adapt or die.
Well, it's still you adapting, right? Isn't it?
What? Death is adaptable? Well, I guess you have no choice.
Well,
I adapted as casket.
Yeah, either way, you're still adapting. The environment gave me this, and now I choose death. You still adapted to the situation, right?
Holy smokes. I think of adapting as only overcoming.
No way. People taking their own life, I mean, I don't know, it has to be a very selfish act. I mean, that person's only thinking me. Like, I feel like this, I feel like this, I feel like this, and yeah, I don't know, I think it's...
And I act this way and I'll never feel again.
It's just all about, every sentence they'll say, it starts with the letter I, like, this happened to me, and I feel like this now, and now I want to do this, and I don't care what happens after this, and it's just all me.
Besides the amount that you and I say the words I think, on a general perspective, you and I don't use the word I often.
I don't know. Never really noticed.
Right?
Would say we'll probably try not to. Nobody really cares, right? It's another expression I heard where it's like when you're talking to someone, like, they don't ask for your opinion, so don't tell them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
don't walk up to people and just say, I think this could be better.
Or more like if someone's like telling you a story, like, you know this, right? People just want to be, most of the time, people just want to be listened to, right? They don't want you to tell them how you could have, like, they don't want advice. Like, they're not asking for your opinion.
Unless if they come to you and say, so this is my situation, and I want your perspective on it and where you think I should go from here.
Yeah, I'm sure that.
Because I do that with you.
I'm sure that doesn't happen too often.
Well, between you and I.
Well, of course.
There's not many people that I ask for advice from. I have like a top 3 selection of people that I will ask for advice from, but I try to keep it to a minimum. And usually before I go extreme on the other 2, this guy's the first one I talk to. Like, hey,
okay.
So I'm in this situation, and what do you think? It's rare though.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you probably count on one hand how many times I come to you and tell you a situation and what do you think I should do next?
Yeah.
Actually, sorry. No, I'd say, yeah, there's about 3 people in the world that I ask that question to.
Yeah, ask my grandma for advice.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to always have somebody to go to.
It's good to go to old people, right? Because they like...
My granddad's number 1.
Yeah, they know a lot.
Unless if I can't figure it out with you, then I'm like, okay. So yeah, maybe I have like, maybe 4 people, but definitely 3. And I usually don't go further than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times you and I can figure something out, you know, to where, okay, I can take this advice and use it to this point, you know, and get myself out of a situation.
Do you think most people, and it doesn't relate to you too much, but you think most people, when they look for advice, yeah, they probably just look to get, like, whatever they already think is probably validated, right? Basically, you would think.
I don't know.
Like, I already have this proclivity in my mind of this whole situation.
I would say yes.
Yeah, and I just really gonna try to get you to validate it and agree with it. And then they'll say, yeah, great advice.
Right.
Right?
Because, yeah, me, I like to debunk as much as I can, down to everything as I can, first. And it's not because I devalue what others say or think, but it's because I'm a man. I better figure out a problem solve on my own.
There you go.
At least up to a degree to where I'm like, okay, this is making me crazy, and I just need a second point of view or something. And then, bye.
Yeah, what draws someone what draws you to ask for advice? Just when it starts getting aggravating or something? Irritating?
Probably, yeah. It's like, okay, you know what? I've boiled this down to the point to where now in my head it's pointless. That's when I go to someone else.
Okay. What do you mean by pointless?
Well, I think a lot of things in this world can be boiled down to be pointless. Well, we die in 100 years, so whatever choice I make right now, if I take a sip of this drink or whatever, it's pointless. But that's not the way to really think about life. That's just what I boil it down to. I can be very nihilist at times.
nihilism.
Yeah. I can definitely boil myself there because what's it matter? What matters?
What matters is
Making our choice.
well, what matters directly relates to behavior. What matters is how you act. It's like the consequences of your actions. Like, well, what I'm trying to say is like,
does this outcome hurt others or?
well, no. I don't mean that. I mean
sorry.
like
That's usually what I try to do.
the simple expression, like whatever it is, like don't listen to what people say, watch what they do.
Yeah.
Like their actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
So how you act is showing yourself what matters to you. Like
Yeah, absolutely. The way you carry yourself.
Like if you could like watch yourself
choices.
on a camera for your entire life,
I hate it.
you would be able to figure out what matters because you're acting it out.
Yeah.
What matters is whatever you're doing.
I know that you probably do it because I do it. Whenever we're editing these videos and stuff like that, and you like just rewatch yourself and things like that, things you say. I think through time, we're gonna get better at communication just because we do this.
Okay. One thing I noticed when I was watching them back is like I noticed that I blink a lot. I didn't know that.
What?
Yeah, I do a lot. I'm like blinking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Do a lot of blinking.
That's interesting.
Could be all smoke. Nah, I don't know.
I don't know. Could be. We fill this room with smoke every podcast.
I think, but yeah, hopefully it does help with communication, dude. Communication is it's definitely a skills game, man. You know, and it's interesting how it comes supernatural to some people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's true.
Oh, you don't think so?
No way. Supernatural to some people? What do you mean? Can you reword that? Say
Not supernatural as in like a phenomenon.
Right.
Just it
comes to them much easier than others?
Well, no, it is natural for some people. Like,
scientifically?
Well, nah.
Why just proven?
Fudge science.
Well, I just mean proven. Statistically.
Well, not with science, but with my own eyes, and to me, that's
some people are much more natural speakers.
Yep.
I
to
think
me, that
that
is science.
no,
well, not speakers, but just at communicating.
There's definitely something that they learned in their life to make them know.
Nope, not at all. Nope. What I noticed with my own eyes, which doesn't count as science, but I count it as science. That's why I call the Earth flat.
Yeah, it's observing.
What I've noticed is a lot of people, well, everyone, for everything, people do things and they don't know why. So yeah. I'll notice, like, let's say I've read a couple books on like communication skills.
Yeah.
Or sales stuff.
Okay.
And those people are doing them. Not because they learned it out of a book or because they learned it from some master communicator.
Right.
What usually ends up happening is, it works, and then they just continue to do it. But they didn't have to learn it. They just
stumbled on it.
Well, I guess you say they could learn it because they're learning from their environment that it keeps working.
See, that's what I think too.
But they didn't learn it from
it's observing
or anything.
No, but it is observing.
Well, yeah. They have to try it. They have to try it to do it. Yeah.
And it could be anybody like their granddad or their father or somebody, right? Somebody that may be influential to them.
Well, but still not exactly. I mean, you could be right though, because it's not like you can just take it out of the blue from somewhere. But I don't know. Either way, the point I was trying. It's like I don't know. It's like using the bathroom. Like that's something.
Just comes natural.
Well, it's natural to you. Yeah, you just use the bathroom. So like,
you feel that urge, and you're like, I know where I gotta go.
Yeah. So this is how I communicate, and it works every time. I can't say that I learned it though. Yeah. It's just natural for some people to be really good at communicating. For sure. Oh, for sure. And like I said, they don't even know.
But as far as the bathroom goes, you are learned. You are taught where to go, what this feeling feels like. Think about it. We teach dogs.
Yeah.
When you gotta go outside, you go to the door, and I'll bring you on the side. I bring my dog on walks. When he gotta go outside, he goes to the door and he waits. Or if he's really gotta go and I'm lying in bed, he'll come and jump around the freaking room. We call them zoomies, right? The dog gets the zoomies when they freaking just act like a freaking crackhead.
Yeah, maybe bathroom's a bad metaphor. But you get my point.
Well, I think that even as much as dogs don't speak, so we understand if you don't speak, then you don't think words to yourself. What is a bathroom? They don't know, but they know a feeling.
Yeah.
And they know when they get that feeling, they got to go somewhere. So I think communication can fall under that too. It's like a certain feeling you get between a vibe between you and someone else you're sharing a kind of conversation with. Maybe I say the word indubitably more, so he starts saying it. It's things like that too. Traits that you can pick up from your friends. If somebody says type shit too much, then next thing you know, you're saying type shit too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I say indeed every time I agree with this guy. And then in a week, he'll be saying indeed anytime he agrees with somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's definitely possible. You know, and we do listen to books. So we watch lecturers on stage. Recently, I've been watching some sales professionals do what they do, and I've been putting them into action.
Good.
Yeah, so that's working.
There's this one. It's a great whatever rhetoric or story.
Okay.
The speaker, he's talking about how like good of a salesman, like whoever went over on the Mayflower, or not the Mayflower, whatever it was, Christopher Columbus or whatever.
Yeah.
And I like how he just had to like sell that to everyone. Like, it's super funny, dude. It's really good. He's like, yeah, like we're all gonna go on this boat and like
You're gonna go find new land.
yeah. He's just like,
You're gonna come with me.
yeah, to sell people. Yeah, like,
Yeah, you're coming with me.
we may not die or whatever.
We might not make it either.
Yeah, we might not make it. I mean, they might just all die. You know. All right, wants to go. Like,
Probably.
imagine how that went. Right? Good salesman. He's a good salesman.
He must be, because you're overcoming all those fears too. Think about back then. We didn't know anything about the ocean. We didn't know anything about the world. They thought the world was flat, and they couldn't explain the stars. They were just into. Well, they were just into. What is that? Not numerology, but
Astrology.
astrology, right? That was. They had a compass that they didn't even believe really worked. What the hell is this N on here?
Yeah.
Like, where are we going? I don't really know. Let's follow this one thing, stay that many knots that way, which I don't even think back then they knew what knots were.
Good salesman. Good salesman. And then there was another one. I think he was talking about like George Washington or whatever. Like they had to go to war or something like that. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's super funny, but yeah, salesman, sales. They're like, yeah, like
You can sell anybody on any idea at all. We're gonna storm the castle.
yeah.
Okay, why? Inside the castle has gold and the princess who is a virgin for her whole life. You know, somebody wants one of those two things. One of those two things, you want all of it.
That's a good point.
It's life or death, but if we get in there, we are living like kings. We are drinking the best champagne the king drinks.
Yeah.
Maybe smoking the best cigars. I don't even know if the king smokes cigars. Who cares? You sell them that, and it's possible. Anything's doable.
Then he was also talking about like brevity and like being brief, like with sales. And he brought up Jesus, how Jesus would just come, he'd show up, and he'd just say, "Come with me," like just real brief.
It sounds like
boom.
It sounds like a part of Star Wars.
Follow me.
Yeah, it sounds like right. It sounds like a part of Star Wars. The freaking white. What are they called? The
Star Troopers or something? I don't know.
Yeah, the stormtroopers.
There we go.
They'll come up and just be like, "Come with me." You don't know where you're going. We're gonna walk 5 miles through the dense forest, but you're coming with me.
Yeah.
You're not even incarcerated.
Brevity, baby.
Yeah, you're not in chains, shackles, nothing like that. Come with me.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a few questions, but you're not gonna answer them until we get there.
Yeah.
Brief.
Be brief, guys.
You know what I love about that word brief?
What?
What is one word that comes to your mind when I say the word brief? You tell me.
For some reason now, I just thought of a briefcase for some reason. Yeah.
Guys, that is literally the word I just thought of too. We did not plan for that at all. It's crazy the way the mind works. I shot it out into the universe.
Yeah. No.
Of some sort. It's in this little cloud between us. I thought of briefcase as well. I thought of a nice black briefcase with clicks.
You know what I thought about after it?
Yeah, what?
I thought of breasts for some reason.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird. But, yeah, the word briefcase. And you know why I like that word? And not only that, I like that word, but I like briefcases personally. I've always wanted to own a real nice, thick, black briefcase with nice locks on it and stuff.
Nice.
I always want to own one. I don't yet, but maybe for Christmas I'll get one. But it's cool because
Santa's coming.
you're keeping everything brief inside this case.
Oh, okay.
What is in here? All of your sales pitches,
Yeah.
right? Maybe your laptop, maybe a few cigars and your clipper.
Okay, now I'm thinking of debrief. Now I'm just thinking about a whole bunch of stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff. But debrief, what's that word mean?
Yeah,
debrief something, so that means give me more information on it. I would assume.
yeah, we're in the FBI. I'm going to debrief you on this case before you get started on it or whatever. We're going to give you a synopsis of the, our
Right.
target or something.
Why? Why would you have to? Because you came in like a stormtrooper. You were briefed. Come with me. Right? You get there,
Good point.
and then let me debrief you on the situation. Now you're getting the information. You were questioning that whole trip. Skoom.
Good point. Yeah. Yeah, selling's definitely important to be pretty brief.
Yeah.
Because like even in that scenario, right? If I tell
It's
you
important to be brief because people get a lot of questions. If I spend $1,000 on this, where's every penny going?
well, it's in the initial state, yeah, it is important to be brief. Like even what you said with the FBI guy, like I'm like,
Yeah,
all right,
right.
I called to you and I'm like, all right, I need you. We're gonna go fight in war and we're all gonna die. Like, you ready? Or if I'm just like, hey, come with me, I gotta talk to you.
Yep.
Like, be real brief.
Be brief. Hey, I need to get your. You have a minute to talk, right? Be brief. It's about your car insurance. Maybe be brief to that extent.
Yeah.
Or it's with your account of whatever, right? Synchrony Bank.
There you go.
And your
Whatever
brief.
that is.
Boom, you got their attention, right?
There you go, bang.
Now, let me debrief you. Let me tell you what's going on here. You owe $23,000 to the tax collector. No, hang up. Push end as many times as you can.
Nice. Well, we're gonna have to wrap up. I got some stuff to handle.
Yeah, likewise. Well, this has been Tyler John the Don.
I am Big Skoom, everybody.
And this has been
Skoom Speech.